Well, John, how are you feeling? Denise asked. Did any of this feel different to you? You know, I answered, this has certainly been more than different. How do you feel about cheating on Alice? She is cheating on me not only with what she is doing with her buddy back home. I realize now that her beauty is only skin deep, and the difference with you is that your beauty is all the way to the core of your being. So what do you think? Do you want us to become fuck buddies for the summer? She said again, giving me that mischievous smile. I don't think so, I answered. I want us to become lovers and to date you from now on. What do you think? Oh, you sweet man, she said with a lilting laugh. Just come and kiss me. That was what I hoped for all along. What do you say about with her? Let me just send a text message to Alice first. I'm going to tell her to go fuck herself, I answered. No, don't do that. I have an idea I'd like to talk to you about first. That girl needs to be taught a lesson, and we can teach her one that she will remember for the rest of her life. Really? What kind of a lesson? I asked. Alice has been treating you with contempt. She has often said to me that you were a lousy lover, and the reason she dated you was that she could control you like a little puppy dog. She also used me to feel superior because she was better looking than I was, and in contrast that would make her look good. Right? Well, yes, that seems to sum up the situation, I answered. Have you considered why I went along with this knowing what I knew? There were two reasons. The first is that I was very attracted to you and knew that if I played my cards right you and I could end up together. Now the second is. Well, I will have to tell you eventually, so brace yourself for this. I am bisexual, John. Does that shock you? She asked me, blushing. I sat there beside her and just stared, not knowing what to say. My mind was racing, trying to process this new information. I had never expected this turn of events. Slowly a picture formed in my mind of Denise and Alice. What are you thinking? She asked. I'm not sure what to think. I've certainly fallen in love with you. I'm positive that I wouldn't accept you being with another man if we were together. The picture of you and Alice together, however, does not seem to disturb me. Would I be part of the action? I asked. Absolutely. She said with an evil grin. How are we going to do that? Well, first you will keep on acting with her as if all is great between you two till she gets back. Just keep texting like you have, and when you talk to tell her how anxious you are for her return and how much you miss her. Can you do that? Sure I can, I answered. We can discuss and plan what to do when she returns over the next few weeks. Hashtag. As the summer months went by, Denise underwent some changes. Gone were the baggy clothes and thick glasses. She had invested in contact lenses. Her hair was now styled and she wore makeup and perfume. Not heavy makeup, but just a light touch of lipstick and a whiff of a musky perfume. We became very close, doing all kind of fun things together, and of course as a lover. When I asked her how she had gained such knowledge of the subject, she would just smile sweetly at me and change the subject. One day I just did not let her change the subject and told her I needed an answer to my question. We were sitting in a sidewalk cafe and she just looked at me for a few moments before standing, taking my hand and walking across the street to a park. She led me to a bench and sat down, pulling me to sit next to her. John, I realized some time ago that I was never going to be the homecoming queen. I first have no taste for that, and I do not have that look. I was fortunate that when I was 18 I fell in love with an older man and he fell in love with me. He became my mentor and my lover. Together we explored all the facets and he led me through a marvelous journey of my life to date. I discovered things about myself that I never suspected. What happened? Why aren't you with him now? I asked. Are you jealous, my darling? Don't be. He passed away from cancer over a year ago, and since that time I realized that I had been living a fantasy. When I saw you, I saw that you could be the soulmate I was craving. She said, smiling at me and giving me a passionate kiss. I have two questions for you. First, why me, Anne? She silenced me by placing a finger against my lips. One question at a time. You, because I fell in love with you the moment I saw you. You are indeed a rare person, my love. I blushed at those words and felt stunned at what she had just said. I had never thought of myself in that light. Thinking over the past while, however, I realized that maybe I was. As a matter of fact, I had enjoyed every moment of my time with her. I was deeply and truly in love with my Denise. Alice was truly a thing of the past. While I was still pissed off at Alice, however, I no longer loved for her in the way I used to. I smiled at the thought of making her pay for her actions, but that was no longer a priority for me. Hashtag. Over the summer I had continued, as agreed with Denise, to chat with Alice, and the date was fast approaching for her return. I kept getting messages of love from Alice, and she said she was anxious to be with me soon. Denise and I had worked out a strategy as to how we would make Alice pay for her disrespect and her lies. Denise was of the opinion that Alice had bisexual tendencies. We had decided to find out. Denise and Alice had agreed that they would share the apartment and that Denise would move into the second bedroom. This was ideal for our plan. I picked up Alice at the airport and we headed back home to her apartment. Denise had agreed to be out when we got there so that Alice and I could catch up. Entering the apartment, Alice gave me a lukewarm kiss and told me she was tired and that she would get together with me the next day. Alice, we have been apart for 3 months and you still want me to wait? I asked. She smiled at me and said, well, you do have a point. H0W about a quickie and then Y0 you can go. I gave her my best grateful puppy dog look and said, okay, let's see how that works out. She took my hand and led me to her bedroom 00M. John, don't grab, I just want a quickie and then you'll leave. John, what are you doing? Why are you so rough? She asked. Alice, I am tired of the lies and the deceit. You have been lying to me and cheating on me for long enough. Tonight I am going to teach you the error of your ways. What do you mean lying? I have not lied to you, she said, but I could see fear in her eyes as she said it. All summer you told me that you loved me. Right? Yes, she answered. You told me you were faithful to me and couldn't wait to get back and be with me. I know that during the whole time you were with your high school lover. John, she whimpered, you were here and I did what I needed to, but now I am back with you. Not good enough, Alice. Things have changed. I am not the person you left at the end of the last term. I have learned to be me over those months. Tonight I am going to punish you so that you will never do that to anyone again. Alice, are you ready for your punishment? I asked. John, don't do this to me. I'm sorry, I did not mean to hurt you, she said with tears streaming down her cheeks. It's too late for that. Sorry is what you will be after I finish with you. You'll learn to respect me. To date, that hasn't taken place. You will after I'm done with you. John, please. I promise I'll behave from now on. I know I deserve this, but don't hurt me. I saw the door open and Denise entered the room. She placed a finger over her lips indicating that I was not to speak. Denise pulled back and smiled at me. She turned Alice onto her back and they just stared at each other. Alice finally got her voice back and gasped, Denise, what was that all about? Did you like what I did to you? Denise asked. Oh my God, yes. I have never experienced anything like that, but why? Alice, you also used me all of last year. I was your friend and confidant. To you, I was the plain girl to offset your good looks. I wanted to be more, but you never showed the slightest interest in me. When the opportunity came, I took John and made him my lover. Now we both want and we have you. Denise, I am not bisexual, Alice answered. Oh, I think you are. I think you are both bisexual and submissive. We intend to prove this to you tonight. Can you guess what happens next? To my surprise, Alice turned to Denise and kissed her. She looked into her eyes and simply said, thank you. Why are you thanking me? Denise answered. With a gentle smile, Alice said, now I know that you are right, Denise. I am bisexual and submissive. What I want to know is where do we go from here? Denise spoke up first. Well, a large part of where it goes depends on you. Why don't you tell us what your thoughts are? You guys made me realize how badly I acted towards both of you. I admit that I was entirely selfish in the way I treated both of you. I loved what you did to me and I was amazed at how good it felt to do you. I looked at Denise and saw the smile on her face. I think she was ready to give me a high five. After all, she had been proved right in her assessment of Alice.